A boat carrying 200 tons of aid is making its way to Gaza from Cyprus. Meanwhile, the UN says a new land route has been used to deliver urgently needed food to northern Gaza for the first time in 3 weeks. Now, this development comes as global pressure is growing for Israel to allow more access to Gaza, where famine is looming. Live now to Jerusalem, our correspondent Yolande Nell is there for us. Yolande, thanks so much for your time. What more do we know about this delivery of aid?
Well, the UN is saying that it was allowed with its convoy to take lorries along an Israeli military road that lies on the Israeli side of the Gaza border fence. And that way they went up adjacent to the Israeli village of Berry, which is next to the north of Gaza, then crossed over there and took their lorries directly into Gaza City. Now, the World Food Programme has said it shows that it is possible to deliver food, to deliver aid by land, that food supplies for about 23,000 people were delivered as a result of this. And this was the first convoy the UN have managed to get to the north of the Gaza Strip, which is where we're getting most of the reports of sort of mass starvation, with people, about 27, according to local health officials, having died from a lack of food and a lack of water in recent days. And really, this, as a lot of focus is still on the new maritime route, while there have been airdrops going on to the north of Gaza as well. But this was the first time in 3 weeks that aid went through this way by road.
And Yolande, stay with us because I want to provide our audiences with another update, and I'd love to get your take on this afterwards. Now, overnight, 3 Palestinians were reportedly killed by Israeli security forces. We received this UGC footage of a 13-year-old boy being shot while holding a firework. Now, Yolande, what more do we know about that development?
Well, this footage comes from the Shufat refugee camp in occupied East Jerusalem, and the 13-year-old boy who was killed, Rami al-Halhouli, has been identified by local media, really was the first person killed in East Jerusalem since the start of Ramadan by Israeli security forces. And of course, we have been saying for a few days now that tensions are running particularly high. This is a sensitive time. Now, what the Israeli police have said is that a single shot was fired by an officer towards a suspect who they say endangered the forces while firing aerial fireworks in their direction. That this boy was initially arrested and later died from his wounds. Now, this has inflamed tensions in Jerusalem, as you would expect. And really, there are other sort of incidents happening. You could see that other pictures on social media showed teenagers in this camp where there is an Israeli security forces presence. You know, there are narrow streets, there are clouds of tear gas being used against them, and other fireworks were being fired. Now, this is something that's happened at the same time as in the occupied West Bank. We saw overnight incidents in Jenin with 2 Palestinians killed there, at least 2 more Palestinians killed by Israeli security forces, shot just outside Jerusalem in the village of Ajib. And we also had reports this morning of a stabbing attack by a Palestinian said to have been 15 years old on a military checkpoint where 2 Israelis were injured. This is a main route used by Israeli settlers coming in from the West Bank into Jerusalem.
All right, Yolande, thank you for that update. And of course, we'll bring you all the latest information as we have it here and as well on our BBC News website and app.